Thanks for turning to Arkansas Transition Services for help with transition assessments. Welcome to Module 3 in our series of modules on transition assessments. This module is assessing for independent living skills. It's not just cooking and cleaning. You already know that a transition plan must be based on appropriate transition assessments. But before a goal can be established for independent living and community participation, we must find the assessments that will give us the information we need to make sure our students are working toward goals that reflect what they want in life after high school. In the next several minutes, you will learn about a variety of assessments that fall under independent living skills, self-determination, budgeting and financial literacy, transportation, skills for independently living and participation in the community, healthcare management, and communication social skills, and skills for recreational activities. You may find that your students have sufficient skills in some, but not all of these areas. You may think of other needs your students have and need to work on before they venture out into the world of living on your own. Help your students be as prepared as they can be by assessing the different areas for independent living and community participation. You have heard us say it over and over. Independent living skills are more than just cooking and cleaning. So much more. First of all, to live independently without any support is expecting a whole lot. Do any of us live completely on our own? We all need help and support with things throughout our life. What would we do without the help of others at different points in our life? Self-determination is another area that should be assessed in transition planning, and it's an important component to everyone's life. We all need to practice and know how to make choices and decisions. We need to know what our rights and responsibilities are and how to get the supports we need to be successful. It certainly doesn't matter if we have a disability or not when it comes to self-determination skills. But when students have a disability, these skills become of the utmost importance. Why do we think self-determination is so important? Well, for one, we know that individuals who have practiced self-determination skills will be more successful in all aspects of their future. Research shows us that they are more likely to be employed, to go to school or get additional training after high school, to participate in their communities, and to have a better quality of life in general. So why wouldn't we assess these skills? If that's not enough, then what if we told you it's emphasized within the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act? Does this look familiar? So clearly it's important. That's why we are taking time to share some tools with you. Self-determination overlaps into all areas. When we think about students being successful in the workplace or in a post-secondary education setting, we probably envision them asking for help when they need it or evaluating their choices to make the best decision. Doing that requires self-determination skills that must be practiced, and what better time than in high school. But first, we have to know their current level of those skills. One of the easiest and comprehensive self-determination assessments available on our website is the AIR Self-Determination Scale. This is easy to use and easy to score tool has a form not only for educators, but also for parents and students. Getting the perspective of the individual, along with educators and parents, can provide some valuable information. Through identifying needs, interests, and abilities, a student can make better choices and plans they can actually act upon and then evaluate those actions. Those skills are assessed in the AIR Self-Determination Scale. Consider how some of the answers your student provides could lead you to include activities that really focus where the student's needs are. A quicker snapshot of a student's self-determination skills can be captured by using the Self-Determination Checklist Student Self-Assessment found on our website. With this tool, the student is able to rate their own skills when it comes to making choices, setting goals, and asking for help. There are a variety of options available if you want to purchase tools or if you want other ways to get a glimpse of a student's self-determination skills. Check out this section on our website. Once you have knowledge of those skills, you are ready to plan with the student to utilize them to the fullest extent or to find ways and strategies to improve them. Get your student ready for success by making sure self-determination is a part of all of your students' plans. Budgeting and financial awareness can be key components to successful post-school outcomes. A greater understanding in these areas can have significant impact. Think about when you were in high school. Did you know how to set up a bank account? Did you know about payroll deductions? What about setting up a budget to see if you could live on your own? Technology is changing our world, making budgeting and financial management easier to manage. Our students need support to move toward the goal of independent living. Arkansas requires financial literacy to be taught in high school, and this can be done through a variety of courses. Assessing your students' knowledge in these areas prior to their enrollment in that course will allow you to identify activities to include in the transition plan. You should also ask the instructors of the classes teaching financial literacy at your school if they use an assessment in that class. If so, consider using that with your students or ask them for the results to use in your upcoming transition plan. There are 2 financial literacy assessments on our website, and these are free. The first is the Financial Literacy Quiz from First Financial Credit Union. This quiz will help you determine what you know and what you don't know about your personal finance so you can take important steps toward improving your financial future. Second, the City University of New York Financial Literacy Quiz. Financial literacy is the ability of individuals to make appropriate decisions in managing personal finances. Take this quiz to build your financial skills. There is also a more comprehensive assessment on our website that includes a budgeting financial literacy component. There is a section on household and money management that addresses skills regarding creating bank accounts, managing money, and setting up living needs. Knowing a student's skills in this area could definitely help prepare them for living on their own. This assessment is free. There's an option for a paper pencil assessment that you might want to consider. It is the Financial Literacy Inventory. There is a cost for this assessment. This 60-item assessment measures a person's basic money knowledge and skills. It provides guidance on how to change and improve money use in everyday life. The assessment also contains a finance checklist and goal-setting worksheet to plan finances. Regardless of which one you choose, it's an important component and one of several that should be included in independent living skills assessments. As you are planning for a young person's future in independent living and community participation, one of the key issues, but seems to be one of the least assessed for, is transportation. How will they get to work or get out into the community to participate in whatever they enjoy doing? Can the person get a driver's license? Is there public transportation where the person wants to live? Uber? Taxi? Can the person navigate public transportation? These are all questions that need to be asked. If the student is looking to drive in the future, there are Arkansas driver's license practice tests on the Arkansas Transition Services website. The student can look into what accommodations are allowed during the test and report out to the teacher or class. There are also transportation sections in more comprehensive assessments. The community-based functional skills assessment for transition-aged youth with autism spectrum disorder has a section on transportation. It covers 3 levels of student ability: Life Aware, Life Explorer, and Life Seeker. It goes from simple things like having the ability to independently buckling their own seatbelt to more complex skills like having the ability to prepare for and arrange transportation. Or the Life Skills Inventory Independent Living Skills Assessment Tool from Washington State. This assessment has 4 levels: basic, intermediate, advanced, and exceptional. It covers skills from riding a bicycle to having a driver's license and understanding the rules of the road. A good place for some standalone transportation assessments is the Independent Living and Community Participation book, which is part of the Informal Assessments for Transition series published by ProEd. These cover public transportation and driving. There are 6 assessments: drinking and driving, driving habits, round-trip assessment, getting around town, functional analysis of transportation behavior, and transportation to and from community locations. Remember that young people need to be able to get around town to be able to participate and work in the community. So don't forget that you can assess for transportation. As we have been discussing, independent living skills involve many areas that students may need in order to be as independent as they can be. Through these modules, you see how vital it is to choose assessments that can assist in finding where and how the student will live and what activities they will enjoy within their community after high school. What goals will the student need to live at home, in an apartment, in a group home or facility? We also need to remember that it's not just about personal care, but also about enjoying life within their community. Many of our students may need a goal on how they will participate in society, so you can see the importance of transition assessments. It not only helps with goals, but gives you the documentation that is needed to support the student's preferences, interests, needs, and strengths. Completing assessments that relate to independent living skills, community participation, can give insight into personal care and what students will need to interact in their hometown in voting, civic organizations, and community involvement. There are 2 fillable assessments at our website that will assist in discovering goals in the areas of living situation and community participation. The Independent Living Skills Assessment, which covers home living and community involvement as well as other areas in independent living. Let's take a closer look at some of the questions. Under home living, there are questions about daily living routine, light household maintenance, and other skills required to live independently at home. Another assessment you might want to consider is the Washington State Life Skills Inventory. It also covers personal care, housing, housekeeping, and knowledge of community resources. Let's look closer and see how these questions could help develop a student's plan. In the area of money management, there are 4 levels and a number of skills that must be shown to move on to the next level. The deficits could become activities for that IEP year. With these completed assessments, the transition plan becomes an expressive blueprint for assisting students to have a meaningful life. Yes, transitioning from high school to adult life often makes individuals think of where they will live, go to school, and work. But something that is often overlooked is health care. This is another important piece to a successful transition. During childhood, health care management for the child is the responsibility of the parents and caregivers, such as making doctor's appointments and getting prescriptions filled or refilled. Arkansas Transition Services has healthcare transition assessments on our website. One website resource that contains healthcare assessments is www.gottransition.org. This website aims to improve transition from pediatric to adult healthcare using new and innovative strategies for health professionals and youth and families. It has free, downloadable resources and assessments for students and families to assist with the process of getting healthcare transition ready. Achieving this level of independence requires an organized transition process to gain independent healthcare skills to successfully transition to new adult healthcare providers. The Healthcare Transition Readiness Assessment is an assessment to determine the readiness of the youth to take on the changing role of managing their own health care. This assessment gathers information from students related to their knowledge of any health issues, being prepared for medical situations, to taking charge of their own health. There is a parent assessment as well. Another assessment is from Shriners Hospital called Transitioning to Independence: How Ready Are You? This assessment recognizes that some youth can take care of their own healthcare needs in a variety of ways and builds upon the skills needed to make a successful transition to adult care and independent living. As we look more closely at the questions, you can see that although we often overlook healthcare management, the skills in this assessment can be critical for a young adult to practice with support while still in high school. And don't forget that these resources and many assessments are also available in Spanish. There are a variety of ways and means, think technology, to communicate, such as the written word, using symbols or signs, speech, gestures, both facial expressions and body language, and behaviors. We want individuals to be successful in their efforts to communicate effectively and appropriately. This may require not only an assessment of general communication skills, but assessments that will give insight into the demands of an individual's potential work environment, social skills required for independent living in their community, and technology competence. You should ask yourself, does the student have the necessary social skills to acquire and maintain relationships at work and in the community? Here are a few assessments that can give some insight into communication social needs. The Employment Support Indicators. This assessment is for students with complex needs and covers the areas of social supports, work setting supports, and work style supports. The In-School Job Checklist Datasheet, considered an authentic assessment. This can be individually designed to assess specific communication, environmental demands, and social skills while on the job. The Parents of Teenagers Survival Checklist. This is a quick and easy assessment that allows a parent to rate their child's ability on a variety of skills, including seeking employment, hygiene, transportation, and current events. Also, don't forget to consult the speech-language pathologist if the student is receiving speech-language services. Life after high school should include opportunities to become involved in the community as well as pursue hobbies and interests. Does the student participate in any recreational activities outside of the school? Is the student aware of opportunities outside the school to pursue hobbies, participate in recreational leisure activities, and to make new friends? Community resource mapping is one way teachers can learn about the community in which the student lives or will live, and can lead to an authentic assessment about student awareness of the opportunities available to them, such as recreational leisure activities, as well as agency assistance for independent living and supports for employment. This is something your transition consultant can help facilitate. Thank you for taking some time today to learn more about an area of assessment that is often overlooked and underassessed. We hope we provided you with information that will help you develop activities and plans that truly lead to meaningful experiences and positive post-school outcomes for your students. Don't forget to explore all that we have to offer on our website, www.arkansastransition.com. The best thing you can do when you begin the transition assessment process is to talk to your transition consultant. Don't wait until the week before it's time to hold IEP meetings. Call us now so we can help you help your students. We all want the best outcomes for our students. Let's work together to make it happen. We are there for virtually all of your transition needs. Please take a minute or so to let us know how we did. We know these times are unprecedented, and we are working to accommodate the needs you have in learning more about secondary transition. We'll be sending you an evaluation and would appreciate it if you would complete it. Thanks, and have a great day.